I am also under pressure from my late dad's wife. 3 years ago, my father went suddenly from lung cancer that had progressed to his brain. We went through a terrible period, and I really miss him. When my mother passed away when I was 15, her life insurance, death benefit, and service benefit were all paid out. My dad was an abusive alcoholic at the time, so it paid off the remaining mortgage on the house. We had a difficult relationship even after I moved out when I was younger, but in later years we were a lot closer and our relationship improved. Despite all of the negative things, I adored him. He eventually met his partner a few years later, and they were married in 2015. We had a cordial relationship even though I never really clicked with her and found it difficult to relate to her. Nevertheless, my dad was content, and I was glad that he had someone to spend time with. She's never struck me as a stepmother. Nevertheless, following his passing, I discovered that, unbeknownst to me, his will had been altered 2 weeks prior to his death, while he was suffering from a sizable brain tumor. Being an executive, I'm shocked I wasn't informed that my brother and I would split the remaining half of the proceeds from the sale of my parents' house instead of her receiving the whole threefold share. Although we didn't like how things ended, we had to accept the will's revision and go on. She now wants to move, so she's decided she wants to sell. When she expressed wanting to improve the house in order to raise the sale price, I emailed her back, telling her not to spend too much money because it wasn't required and wouldn't be worth it. A few weeks ago, she extended an invitation for me to visit the work and receive certain paperwork. Upon arriving home, I perused the contract she requested me to sign, which committed me to withholding about £6,000 from the house's sale as payment for her labor. Certain work was done long ago and obviously for her comfort, while other documents contained bids for work rather than actual bills or receipts. According to the terms of the will, she is allowed to live there until the day she passes away, but she is still liable for all costs and maintenance. She has lived there with my dad for 14 years, without paying rent, and by herself for 3 years. It is our family home, which not only required the deaths of both of our parents for her to receive, but it is also the only thing my friends, family, and I believe is a complete joke when someone asks us for this money. I'm not happy that she's putting pressure on me to accept this right now. She's bullying me into signing. She did not hire a lawyer to write the document, and she has not consulted one regarding this. She now threatens to take the property off the market if I don't agree. To be honest, I don't care about this because, if she lived there until she passed away, the house would simply pass to my brother and me, and her adult children would not gain from my parents. Therefore, am I a bad person for defending the remnants of my inheritance and my brother's? Edit. I appreciate all of your guidance and assistance, it has given me a great sense of comfort. On Friday, I'll be speaking at Legal Assistance. Here are the most popular comments. Don't sign that, D. Hall. Her intention is to exploit you. Yes, my spouse is very insistent that I not allow her to harass me. She's blackmailing me now, and I just don't do confrontation well. Edit. The blackmail is really more of a stupid threat that says, I won't sell if you don't sign it. However, perhaps blackmail isn't the best term. That infuriated me when I received the email stating that yesterday. I contest the will, going one step farther. Considering your father's brain tumor, you can probably return it to the original arrangement. By the way, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm not a lawyer, so this can't be easy on top of everything else. When we discovered the will had been altered, I did visit a solicitor and was informed it was a pointless visit. Though I can't afford to go into a major legal dispute, I'm beginning to feel that I should get a second opinion. She is acting shadily, not D. Hall. If your father amended his will 2 weeks before to his brain tumor death, I would get in touch with the attorney. It might be disputed. When I first attempted, I was informed it was very tough to contest will, so I decided to put my head in the sand because I was grieving and in a poor place. Since then, she has complicated everything and even prevented me from entering the house. It's been quite difficult. The following tale is now ready. Is it wrong of me to withhold my stepchildren's benefit from my child's survivors? I have a 2-year-old child with the father of my child, and we were together for 5 years. He battled alcoholism long before we met, and it had ruined his first family. He wasn't a good father to his 2 previous children because he was frequently absent and on the bent. Their mother, who seems kind yet erratic, reared them. Those children had both grown up by the time I met him, and he had spent years recovering. So I had a hard time passing judgment. I didn't think about it because he was a kind and loving parent to our child. It's just the 2 of us now. He passed away from liver failure when my child was 2. All he had was medical debt, which fortunately I did not inherit because we were not married. Thus, until they turn 18, all my child has are survivor benefits. My stepchildren, the 2 elder children of my child's father, are not eligible for anything because they are both older than 18. Right now, I use it for child support and try to save as much as I can for a future nest egg and college. My stepkids are begging for their share now that they know my child receives money despite being a minor. They contend that since it is the only bequest, all 3 of his children should receive an equal share of it rather than simply the one who was fortunate enough to inherit it all. They also claim that they should get his money because they suffered because of his absence. It's not more in any case. They have some of his family members who support them, so now I have to decide whether to jeopardize my child's future or risk destroying the one bridge my child has with their father. Right now, I'm saying no. I understand that he was bad and absent, but I don't think my child or I have to make up for it. However, is the money really worth destroying half of my child's family? Not in D. Hall. Refuse to give up your small child's future in exchange for Social Security benefits meant to support you as a parent to 2 adult children. Your child may lose benefits or you may lose your ability to act as their agent pay if Social Security discovers that you have done this. Forward all correspondence from anyone who is bothering you about unlawfully transferring your child's benefits to his. Show your grown children this link and assure them you don't plan to break any laws. Your child has more connections to his father than just the individuals who are tormenting you. You are your child's parent, and any members of his father's family who are breaking federal law by attempting to steal from a 2-year-old fatherless child are not individuals you should have near your child. If only I could bestow an award upon you. This is the ideal method for putting an end to them. Not in D. Hall. Not only are you not D. Hall, but what they're requesting of you is illegal. Social Security survivor benefits are subject to certain restrictions. Disbursements to other family members are not among them. Maybe let them know that you are not allowed to do that by Social Security if you are receiving a lot of pushback from them. Not in D. Hall. Even if the new family is the only ones who receive the official inheritance, I would absolutely prefer to see the deceased's children receive a just portion of it. It's not inheritance, this. It hurts to lose a parent, especially if they are poor. It also hurts because there isn't an inheritance in this case. But you shouldn't have to deprive your child in order to make up for your partner's impoverished death. The final tale is this one: since my girlfriend moved in with her mom a few months ago, am I the bad person for moving out? As my lease was almost up, my girlfriend urged me to move in with her rather than renew it. It made sense because our relationship was at that point. She was having trouble paying the rent due to a reduction in her hours and had been using her savings to get by. In the end, I covered 60% of all expenses. We had originally planned to split 50/50ths, but since I was making more money than she was before her hours were reduced, I reasoned that this would enable her to top off her savings. For several months, everything was going well until she abruptly informed me that her mother was moving in with her since she had lost her job and home. I asked her if there were any other options because I didn't feel comfortable with that. She claimed that although her mom thought it was embarrassing, she could live with her grandma, her mom's mother, therefore that wasn't acceptable. I informed her again that this was not acceptable to me. It seems less embarrassing to live with her adult daughter and her partner. It's important to note that her mother is, well, peculiar. She is highly controlling, entitled, fussy, and a do-it-my-way kind of person. She also sticks her nose where it doesn't belong. One day, she lost it all because both her mom and my girlfriend had made a cake for her nephew's birthday. She had no idea that my girlfriend's cake was superior, which led to a complete breakdown. I received many of similar accounts. Her mother moved into the guest room 4 weeks ago despite my objections being disregarded. Even on the first day, it was a farce. I saw there was a ton of extra stuff on my grocery list as I was heading out to get groceries. Her mother stated she inserted it when I asked her. I asked her if she had any money, and she answered that she didn't, and my girlfriend made fun of me for asking. My girlfriend got into an argument with me about it, claiming that since her name is on the lease, she should be able to choose who stays there. To cut a long tale short, I saw that everything she added in the store was brand name and much more expensive. Additionally, I had to pay $220 at the cash checkout when I usually only spend about $90 for the two of us. I charged it on my girlfriend's card because, in all honesty, I'm not paying for it. After arriving home, I gave a friend a call and asked if I could stay at his house for a few weeks at most while I looked for another flat. He asked his girlfriend, and the next day, I moved out after they gave me the go-ahead over the phone. In a week, I'll be moving into a new residence. Clearly, when I left, we were hardly speaking at all. She has been insistent that I am at fault and that the only reason I acted as I did was because it was her mother and not someone else when we first spoke again. I cannot deny that if it had been her dad, I would have accepted it. Her dad is awesome, lol. Here, am I D Hall? Here are the most popular comments. Not D Hall, this isn't right, look at it. Your house should be a comfortable place for you. You get a voice there if you pay your bills. Your girlfriend has taken responsibility of the decision, diminished your voice, and asserted your rights. Telling her that she is the one on the lease gives you the best chance of getting her to move out at that point. Since this was not what was agreed upon, it is not cruel to act in this way. There's no reason why you should move in with her mother. That was also how I was thinking. Yes, your name appears on the lease, but I'm paying the majority of the expenses. To be clear, I've already made my move. I'm currently at the Buddy, but in a week I'll be moving into my own house. Not D Hall, she gave the impression that you two shared an apartment up until the point where you couldn't agree on anything. Her flat comes next. You can now do everything you want in your flat, therefore you made the proper decision. She took the initiative and didn't wait for anyone. Since the lease is in her name, that may be her choice, but you are not required to stay. You are also not required to pay for the mother's food if you are not a tenant. Unless she is dietary restricted because of a medical condition, she is a guest. She shouldn't force you to buy extra items, instead, she should eat what is offered. Furthermore, it's unlikely that your relationship will endure this, nor should it. If this is the kind of behavior she engages in, you will have to deal with it for the rest of your life. Furthermore, why would I spend so much money on someone I didn't want to be there in the first place? And it has crossed my mind that our relationship might not survive this. However, I'm willing to die on this hill. That concludes this video, people. As usual, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. To receive updates on the newest videos, turn on your notification if you'd like to see more of this content. And I'll see you in the following one. Be careful.